What does Mobile produce? How much do our businesses manufacture? What do our 11 cities generate? The Mobile area plays host to 27 foreign-based companies from 16 different countries. Our businesses employ over 182,000 people, a number that is ever growing because we graduate a more educated workforce through 10 area colleges and universities. And over the last decade, area shipbuilders created 6,124 new jobs. Our port handles over 54 million tons of cargo each year. We export 34 million tons of coal, chemicals, forest products, iron, steel, and grain. Mobile produces 5 million metric tons of steel for industry to use in building and making the economy go. But we also reduce our impact on the environment by capturing carbon with the world's largest carbon capturing plant of its kind. Mobile processes 101,000 shipping containers each year and handles 120,000 freight cars. And T-Mobile landed a $5.2 billion investment, the largest private economic development project in the history of the United States. All told, Mobile is a hub for the state's $12.35 billion a year in export sales, because we connect manufacturers, suppliers, and retailers with 16,000 navigable miles of waterways stretching all the way to Chicago. But we don't just churn out and transport goods. Our companies provide vital services like processing over 330 million healthcare transactions and claims. Mobile literally takes tens of thousands of phone calls for Fortune 500 companies through 7 call centers in our area. Every year, Mobile welcomes 75,000 visitors to our convention center. We fly over 600,000 people in and out of our airport. And when it's time to play, we throw a party that generates $408 million in economic impact. But what Mobile produces cannot be measured in tons and square footage and units alone. Our output is not a matter of mere brick and mortar or dollars and cents. In Mobile, enthusiasm is a natural resource. And lasting friendships are generated daily. It's a place we construct homes and build families. We raise neighborhoods and reap a sense of community. Mobile cultivates business-friendly attitudes. We manufacture an atmosphere for innovation and expansion. We create efficiencies that help industry prosper. We're forging a future that's as bright as the rising sun, because this is Mobile, and Mobile produces opportunity.
I am Joe Bullard. Actually, I'm not Joe Bullard, but he hired me 21 years ago, and for that reason, he didn't even show up tonight. Joe is a great person and a great friend, and I am Wynn Hallett, and I have the distinct pleasure to serve as the president of the Chamber. The videos you've seen tonight reflect the artistic creativity of Lewis Communications. Lewis has dedicated a team of folks over the last several months to help us plan tonight's event and produce both the video loaded with statistics that played during dinner and on the video you've just seen. We're so grateful for their expertise, innovation, and commitment to the Chamber. Please join me in showing your applause and appreciation to Lewis Communications. It has been my great privilege to serve as the Chamber's president over the past 21 years and to work with some of the most passionate and dedicated people you will ever find. These people care more about the long term than the short term. They care more about the big picture than their personal perspective. And I'm talking about the chairmen and women who have led this organization over the past 175 years. And no, I have not served with all of them. Every year has had its own priorities and challenges, and these individuals knew what F. Scott Fitzgerald put into words. The redeeming things are not happiness and pleasure, but the deeper satisfaction that comes out of struggle. No real progress is easily achieved, and we're indebted to these past chairs for their leadership and because they understood that there are no shortcuts to any place worth going. It is my pleasure to recognize those present with us tonight, and I think it's phenomenal that of the 25 that we have, 15 are with us tonight, and I will ask them to stand as I call their name, and please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Robbie Baker, 2011. Dave Trent, 2010. Sandy Stimpson, 2009. Bill Seifert, 2008. Best Award, 2007. He asked me if I wanted him to sing, and I told him no. Al Heffernan, 2006. Mike Lee made another proposal, but we're not going to take that either. He was in 2002. Diane Irby, 2000. Mike Fitzhugh, 1998. Andrew Saunders, 1997. John Hope, 1996. John Lewis, 1995. Bruce Jones, 1994. Frank McWright, 1989. And Jack Edwards, 1986. Let's thank these men and women for their leadership. Thank all of you very, very much. A college professor once asked his class if they knew the difference between ignorance and apathy. And one of his smart aleck students, and I might have fallen in that category, said, "I don't know and I don't care." The great enemy of any long-standing organization, country, or civilization is complacency. Somehow success and abundance often lead not to greater vigilance, but to apathy. I am proud to say that this malaise has not infested this chamber in recent memory, and with the continued with the continuing excellent leadership of the business community and our partnerships with the public sector and so many other agencies, and our outstanding staff, I'm confident that we are poised for even greater days ahead. The challenges continue, and the work stops only briefly as we pause to remember where we've been and the people who have brought us to this place. Tomorrow we begin the next day in the flow of our existence. Now, if you'll indulge me for a few minutes longer, I'd like to give you a bit of surprise for you. I have the honor of unveiling the Chamber's new marketing campaign, and it is the creative work of Mobile-based Tom Mason Communications and was inspired by a 1970 campaign that was adopted by groups from school children to businesses. Tomorrow, you will begin seeing publications and billboards that read, "Believe in Mobile, belong to the Chamber." By believing in Mobile and belonging to the Chamber, you make an investment in our future. As an economic developer, small business consultant, and business advocate, you see the look is distinctly different. We hope you will share it on your website, billboards, social media, and in fact, when you leave here tonight, you will find the new message will be volunteers are placing a small magnet on your car. It will not take the paint off, it won't take the chrome off. Be proud to have it. Before I go any further, let me also thank University of South Alabama. They went above and beyond anything you could ask for tonight, and Aramark for the wonderful meal. At this time, I'd like to welcome our 2012 Chamber Board Chairman Michael Pierce to the stage. Michael is Chairman of Commonwealth National Bank and Executive Director of MLK Avenue Redevelopment Corporation. He has a storied football career at Murphy High School, Tulane University, and in the National Football League, and is founding pastor of New Life Ministries. He is one of those people of rare character that have so successful in moving our chamber and community ahead over the last 175 years. We're extremely excited to have Michael leading the chamber this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome the 2012 Chamber Chair, Michael Pierce.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here tonight and to stand in front of such a distinguished crowd, and especially the fine men and women who have led this organization before me. I've been asked to briefly outline my priorities for the year. First, we must meet or exceed our Partners for Growth campaign goal of $10 million. As you know, the Partners for Growth campaign funds the Chamber's economic development activities. The campaign is underwritten with investments from the private and public sector, specifically the City of Mobile and Mobile County. While the economic downturn has negatively impacted private and public sector coffers, it is imperative that our partners maintain or increase their investment in the program. Second, we will strive to create 750 new jobs in 2012 by aggressively marketing the Mobile region nationally and internationally for business locations and expansions. We will work with area workforce development partners, the Southwest Alabama Workforce Development Council, Bishop State Community College, Mobile Works, to ensure that employers' workforce needs are met. My pledge to each of you tonight is to do my very best to uphold the Chamber's standards, putting teamwork first and focusing on the future, and maintaining the tradition of excellence the community has come to expect from the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce one of Mobile's most beloved men in our community, not just because he pastored one of Mobile's churches, but because his wisdom and advice has guided many, including myself. He is pastor emeritus of Dauphin Way Methodist Church and director emeritus of the J.L. Betzel Foundation Scholars Program and Alumni Association. And tonight, Dr. Stevens Deal's words will inspire each of us to be the leader we were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in joining and welcoming to the stage Dr. Stephen Deal.
Opportunity 175 is a marvelous celebration. Music and sudden light have interrupted our routine tonight and swept the filth of habit from our hearts. Oh, here and now the endless journey starts. I'm so very pleased to be at this brilliant moment because of my admiration for the remarkable and unselfish leadership of so many chamber members who, beyond business, gave and continue to give their time and energy to good causes and community betterment. So many of you are here tonight, leaders of the community, while others of your number have passed on, leaving a legacy of prosperity and grace that continues to benefit all of us. Tonight we're saying thank you to people who, across the years, have accomplished things which could not come to pass until long after they are gone. To Wynn Hallett and the Chamber staff, we give our thanks for their professionalism, for their friendship. We've often been in their debt. Let me also say that many of the finest leaders are those whose leadership has not yet been revealed, but it will be. And some of them are here tonight. They're the ones coming up. I believe that I was invited to speak to you tonight after a celebration of 175 years because I'm just older than most of you. Now, you know that you're old when you conduct a wedding and the grandmother of the bride looks good coming down the aisle. It's really foolish to try to summarize the history of the Chamber of Commerce, 175 years of history in a few short moments, and then predict the future. I know that, but the Chamber keeps pushing us to make the impossible possible, so I press on. First, a backward glance, looking back at tomorrow. The difference between traveling through space and traveling through time is that when you travel through space, you face forward, but when you travel through time, you face backward like rowing a boat in order to be guided by the wake of history. What I mean is we live forward, but we understand backward. The Mobile Chamber of Commerce was founded in 1836, only 60 years after the United States declared its independence from the British Empire. No doubt there were men living in Mobile then, no older than I am now, who fought in the Revolution. Who can imagine Mobile in 1836? Arkansas was admitted into the Union in 1836. That was the year Martin Van Buren was elected President of the United States. Houston, Texas was founded. Spain recognized the independence of Mexico. David Crockett died at the Alamo. Alabama declared Christmas a state holiday in 1836. Magnolia Cemetery was established that year, and the construction commenced on Barton Academy and Government Street Presbyterian Church the same day in 1836. In 1836, Mobile was rather cosmopolitan. It was the fourth largest international port in the United States. It had 3 banks, 3 daily newspapers, 5 hotels, 12 insurance companies, and foreign offices from Great Britain, France, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, and Colombia. But cotton was king. Cotton was king. Between 1830 and 1840, cotton prices doubled, cotton production almost doubled, and the population of Mobile quadrupled. Unfortunately, cotton and slavery were yoked together. The Natchez Courier estimated that in 1836, to facilitate the production of cotton, 250,000 slaves were transported into Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Looking back at 175 years of history, there are some chapters we're not proud of. Times when cotton was king and slavery was defended. Times when competing business interests imposed a silence on the chamber. Time when commerce was more important than morality. But that time, those times, were far, far from the whole story. Mobile is an old city by American standards. 10 years ago, we celebrated our bicentennial. We have lived under 6 flags. We have known the American Revolution, the Civil War, 2 world wars, and a Great Depression. And in these last few years, we have all been conscious that we lived in harm's way. We have known hurricanes and tornadoes, the shock of September 11, Iraq and Afghanistan, the shift of wealth from west to east, a financial collapse, genocide abroad, the upheaval of the Arab world, the decline of the housing market, an oil spill in the Gulf, the rise of unemployment, and the increase of national debt, both at home and around the globe. We could say with Walt Whitman, these are quicksand years that whirl me I know not whither. And even so, throughout it all, for 175 years, there was the Mobile Chamber, serving as a catalyst for economic expansion, marketing the community, developing trade initiatives, supporting health care and education, designing a legislative agenda, building opportunity, improving the quality of life. The business community and the chamber leadership were ever doing the best things in the worst times. During the flu epidemic, the flu pandemic in 1918, Chamber of Commerce members agreed to deliver food and ice and medicine to the victims and to lend their automobiles to the doctors and the nurses who were so overtaxed. In 1926, 3 women came to J.L. Bedsole as president of the chamber and pointed out that 22 charitable agencies were overwhelmed with calls from poverty-stricken people in those depressive times. Separate financial campaigns wasted money and they wasted resources. So what did he do? Mr. Bedsole called a meeting of the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce voted to combine all the welfare efforts into the first Mobile County Community Chest, later the United Way. So many, many brilliant moments. Here's what I think is remarkable, that in an ever-changing world, the vision of the Chamber has been widening, gaining deeper insight and broader understanding. The Chamber is consistently learning how commerce is woven into civilization. It is talking about sustainable growth and creative capitalism, how the economy builds community. The creation and the transfer of wealth makes possible creative leisure, the arts and literature, education in the university. That widening culture is the incubator for new economy, new products, new services, new science and technology, new products. It is the catalyst for trade and the exchange of ideas. It is the foundation of freedom and the keystone of peace. Our challenge is to learn from the past and to build the present in such a way that the future will be exciting. It would be tragic, absolutely tragic, to look back over 175 years of history without any insight. It would be tragic to have had the experience and miss the meaning. When I was growing up in Mobile, the only soccer game that I ever saw was between the crew of 2 foreign ships, one Greek and one Algerian, who played a strange and exciting game of kickball in a public park. I did not know then that I was watching globalization. the competition of civilizations, international trade, information exchange, the interaction of life and politics around the globe. We are blessed in Mobile with a wide range of enterprises, different kinds of businesses, large and small, delivering value to customers and converting payment to profit. Business diversity in a global society requires an increasing amount of creativity. Creative workers are scientists and engineers, university professors, poets and architects, people in design, education, the arts, music, and entertainment, whose economic function is to create new ideas, new technology, new forms of convenience and exchange. This is a rapidly changing world. Everything is speeding up. Markets shift faster, products evolve quicker, customers are more fleeting, information technology evolves at an unrelenting pace. We are all facing a commercial climate more unique and more untried than any previous generation. And in the midst of this, we have a great community, either to save or to lose. Our hopes and dreams for America, for this community, are vested in a vibrant democracy. And here's the rub. Democracy requires of its citizens qualities that it cannot provide. Government cannot supply the qualities of honesty, compassion, personal responsibility, those things which undergird democracy. We learned that first from the ancient Greeks. The Athenians were the only people who were free in all the world. And Athenian democracy stood for freedom, thought, and beauty, but in a Greek way, with limits and without exaggeration. The Athenians loved beauty, but with simplicity. They loved the things of the mind, but they did not shrink from hard work. Thought did not cause them to hesitate. It clarified the road to action. They made no show of riches, and one was not ashamed of being poor if he was being useful. And they were free because of a willing obedience to the law, not only the written law, but still more the unwritten law, the law of kindness and compassion and unselfishness, those qualities which depend on a man's free choice, which cannot be enforced, but without which humankind cannot live together. As we continue to build a truly good, great, and enduring community, it has to be built along those lines. In the afternoons after high school at Murphy, I was a runner for the American National Bank. At the close of the day, it was my responsibility to gather the mail from each department, to apply the postage, and to take it to the post office. I was the last one leaving the bank. One night, I was surprised to find the door of the bank vault left open. I called my boss, who simply said it was not his night to close the vault, to call Mr. Smith. So I called Mr. Smith, and he said, "Oh, I forgot to close the vault." He said, "Son, there is a .38 revolver in my desk. Take that pistol and guard the bank until I get there." I did just that. I was 16. I've thought about it many times since. I did not realize then that all of us are guardians of value, order, industry, and wealth. It is our responsibility to identify and protect not only those tangible, but those intangible building blocks for future generations. It was the Nazarene who said, a wise man builds his house upon a rock. So what are we building on, looking back at tomorrow? What principles will guide the chamber into the future as it continues to build opportunity and improve the quality of life? I'm sure there are a great many. Let me name just a few. Every person and every contribution must be valued unless the community be destroyed by the disuse or the misuse of its economic engine. Cooperation is critical. Public, private, regional partnerships are essential. The wider the cooperation, the more competitive is our position. The social and cultural infrastructure, things like education, health, environment, the arts, are critical both to the economy and to the quality of life. And a healthy community, like a healthy body, attends to the pain of the weakest part. We must always care for those less fortunate. And one more thing, allow some time for creative leisure and clarity of thought in order to probe the dimension of depth and ponder the infinite questions. What is happiness? What is the meaning of life? What should we become in that short stretch between birth and death? Without that, the rest is futile. When I consider the present, looking back at tomorrow, I'm more than optimistic. I'm excited. I agree with Thomas Wolfe. I think the true discovery of America is before us. I think the true fulfillment of our spirit, of our people, of our immortal land is yet to come. I think the true discovery of our own democracy is still before us. And I think that all these things are certain as the morning, as inevitable as noon. Our America is here and now and beckons on before us. And this glorious assurance is not only our living hope, but it is our dream to be accomplished. Oh, here and now, the endless journey starts. It begins now with you and me building a magnificent future, a lasting legacy that will be safe and secure, bright and promising, rich and rewarding, with liberty and justice for all. I thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Now, before I delay your dessert any longer, let me close tonight's program. And again, let's recognize Bank Trust and all of tonight's sponsors. You'll see them on the screen. As you make your way outside through the doors you entered at the opposite end of the arena, just outside you'll find an array of delicious desserts, coffee, champagne, and a fireworks celebration to top off the evening. You won't want to miss it. If you've checked your coat, it can be found on the way out. And once you have everything, head to the north side of the Mitchell Center through these doors yonder. There will be volunteers under the tent handing out a very limited edition of the Chamber's 175th year history coffee table book for everyone here tonight. It's produced by Tom Mason's Communication and printed by Gwynn Commercial Printing. On behalf of Mobile Area Chamber, We thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being such a gracious audience. We will see you outside for a very special anniversary toast by former Congressman and former Chamber Board Chairman Jack Edwards. Thank you and good night.